We often hear about athletes declining with age, right? But what happens when someone in their mid-30s, well, not only keeps playing at a high level, but actually seems to get even better?
It's pretty unusual.
Yeah. Today, we're going to dig into the really fascinating case of Zhou Peng. He's the head coach and also a key player for the Shenzhen Marco Polo basketball team.
And get this, he's 35 and currently averaging 16.1 points and hitting 2.7 three-pointers per game.
Which is remarkably his best statistical output in, 19 CBA seasons?
19 seasons? Yeah. It truly is a compelling situation, especially given he's doing both roles playing and coaching.
Absolutely.
So to try and figure out what's driving this, we've looked at quite a few things. Some news articles giving insights into his thinking, his experiences, an audio interview where he talks pretty candidly about his career, official league player data, team info, even his biographical stuff for, a full picture.
Right. So our mission today is basically to unpack what's behind Zhou Peng's sustained high performance and also how he's managing this complex balancing act of playing and coaching.
So where do we start?
Well, it seems like a really big piece of the puzzle is something he calls self-imposed high pressure.
Yes. That seems critical for understanding him. Zhou Peng himself points back to his time with the national training team. This was in 2007, under Coach Jonas.
Right.
He talks about how Jonas had these, really demanding, intense reactions. And instead of, getting discouraged by it...
Which many might.
Exactly. Zhou Peng apparently made a conscious decision to just accept that level of pressure.
And that acceptance, it sounds like, was kind of a catalyst, forging this incredible, unwavering focus just on basketball stuff.
And it's not just history.
No, definitely not. This high-pressure mindset is very much part of his life right now as head coach. He felt this huge pressure to learn the coaching job, from scratch, immediately.
Right, and how's that actually shown up in his day-to-day?
Well, the transition sounds all-consuming. From what we gathered, the demands of learning this new role at this level have really hit his personal life hard.
Yeah, his wife apparently mentioned the long hours, less communication, that kind of thing.
His daily routine sounds intense. Leaves home super early, before rush hour, gets to the gym by 8:30 a.m.
Okay.
Then it's planning training, watching video, scouting foreign players, doesn't get home till 8 p.m., and then apparently just crashes. Falls asleep almost instantly.
Wow. That level of dedication, it requires constant internal pressure, doesn't it? It makes you wonder about the long term. Is that sustainable? Is there a risk of burnout?
That's a really good question to keep in mind. It's not just the hours, though, is it? It's also this relentless internal drive for improvement, this painfulness he actually talks about embracing. Yeah, he even told this story from when he was basically a rookie. Coach Lee Kwan asked him why he wasn't happier after making a shot. It went in, but it wasn't a perfect swish.
That says so much about his mindset, doesn't it? It's not just about the result, it's the how. The execution has to be perfect.
Exactly.
So this painfulness, this constant dissatisfaction with anything less than his absolute best.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's the engine driving him. Maybe it stops him getting complacent, which must be a danger for veteran players.
Oh, for sure. And it definitely seems to fuel his training regimen. We're talking at least 200 shots every single day.
Bill, after all this time.
Yep. And all focused on game intensity. He visualizes everything, the exact technique for a layup, the jump, the force, even how the ball rotates. He's just adamant that there are no shortcuts to getting better.
That commitment to the basics, even now, is really something. It shows his success isn't luck. It's built on years and years of deliberate work and just refusing to coast. Now, with that kind of intensity, taking on both coaching and playing, that must bring its own unique challenges.
Oh, absolutely. And the team actually had a really rough start to the season. They only won, 2 of their first 10 games? Yeah. And Zhou Peng was pretty open about feeling self-doubt then, questioning if he was even cut out for coaching.
Well, that's understandable, isn't it? When things aren't working out immediately, especially in pro sports. But what's interesting is how he reacted.
Exactly. So the team had injuries. Gu Quan was out with a pretty major one, and they desperately needed wins. So Zhou Peng decided to step back onto the court as a player during this Club Cup window.
Right, sort of a break in the main league schedule.
Yeah, and he even talked about the contrast, how complex coaching felt compared to playing, which he said was, a very simple thing he's been doing for almost 20 years.
Simple for him, maybe?
Yeah.
And the result of him coming back to play, pretty stunning, actually.
Wasn't it just? He basically found himself playing near his peak level again. Scored double digits in 11 out of 15 games in that second phase, and 7 times he scored over 20 points.
Yeah, that got people talking online, didn't it? Zhou Peng's back, he's the pillar of the team, stuff like that.
For sure. But what do you think enabled that quick return to form?
Well, it's fascinating. He puts it down not to some, sudden burst of youth, but to those 19 years of hard work.
Right.
Maintaining that painfulness, that drive.
Even though his personal training time was cut back in the summer because of the coaching transition.
Right. It really shows how that deep foundation lets an athlete tap back into top performance even when things are tough. A real testament to consistent effort over the long haul. So playing and coaching at the same time, that must affect how he leads the team too, right? Let's get into his leadership style.
Yeah, well, from what we understand, he's very serious on game days. Doesn't like joking around, feels it takes away focus.
Okay.
He really pushes players to analyze their matchups, understand the game plan inside out.
That fits with the high-pressure approach. He wants everyone totally locked in, thinking critically. But it sounds like this shift to coach has changed his relationships with teammates a bit.
That definitely came up. He noticed some players seemed more distant, and he actually said he wants more open communication, especially about tactics, training ideas.
Interesting.
He even mentioned some players prefer talking on the phone rather than face-to-face, which kind of surprised him. Why do you reckon that is?
Well, it's probably the power dynamic shift, isn't it? Going from teammate to the boss. Some guys might just feel less comfortable having those casual chats or giving direct feedback to the coach compared to another player.
Makes sense. And Zhou Peng is trying to fix that. He's pushing for more face-to-face talks to build that team unity. Though he did admit only a few players, like Harry Yining and Wang Haoran, really come to him proactively for advice.
But he wants to share his experience.
Oh yeah, he made that clear. And his leadership isn't just talk. There was a good example with his chemistry on court with Will Cummings, the foreign player. Apparently, the other players really responded positively, seeing them work well together. It kind of hit home for Zhou Peng that sometimes leading by doing, demonstrating on the court, can be more powerful than just giving orders, especially maybe with a younger team.
Leading by example reinforces that idea that basketball is a team game, which he stresses.
Definitely. Okay, so shifting gears slightly. We have to talk about the reality for any athlete, especially mid-30s, adapting to physical changes. Age catches up eventually.
Yeah, and this is a really crucial piece of how he's still doing it. He made a deliberate choice to lose 5 kilograms, dropped from 105 kilograms, which he'd maintained for ages.
Why the change?
His thinking was it would boost his agility, take some strain off his muscles and joints. He knew it might affect his inside game a bit, make him rely more on shooting. But he saw it as a necessary trade-off for his body at this stage, a smart adjustment.
And he's definitely feeling the recovery aspect more. He mentioned being really sore after one tough game against Guangdong. Just shows the body doesn't bounce back quite as fast.
Exactly. So his training has evolved. It's more about efficiency now, focusing on staying healthy, keeping joints flexible, refining those finishing skills. Even if the raw speed isn't what it once was, it's pragmatic, really intelligent.
Very. Now, despite all his individual effort and adaptation, his main goal is still about the team, right? Getting Shenzhen Marco Polo into the playoffs.
Yeah, that's clearly the big focus for him, day in, day out. And he knows the team has challenges, especially fading in the final minutes of game.
He used that analogy, didn't he? Like climbing a snowy mountain, working hard to get up, then just slipping right back down easily.
Vivid image. He sees it as a recurring thing for the team, mostly down to lacking experience in those high-pressure, crunch-time moments.
But he's not down about it. He seems optimistic, believes they'll improve gradually, that eventually they'll stop that fourth quarter slide.
Yeah, and his optimism seems based on knowing what needs to change. He talks about relentless effort, offense and defense, better rebounding, doing the dirty work.
The unglamorous stuff.
Exactly, and playing fast break ball to get the fans going. He really values that fan connection, sees how their energy lifts when the team plays with intensity.
And when you look at his own stats for this 2024-2025 season, they really are remarkable. Scoring, rebounding, assists, shooting percentages, all near his peak levels.
Yeah, that streak of 5 straight 20-plus point games was something else.
But it's not just scoring, is it? His role as a connector, a facilitator.
That's a great point. His assist rate is really high for a forward in the CBA, and his turnover rate is super low. That combination puts him among the league's elite. Shows how we can compensate for maybe a lack of ball handling elsewhere in the front court.
And the defense.
Yeah.
Still a major factor. Even if he's lost a step athletically, which is natural, he's still one of their main guys for guarding opponents' bigs. His one-on-one D is still top tier.
Like against Guangdong's Gravods, that was a good example.
Yeah. And think about his minutes played. Despite being 35, juggling coaching, he leads all players 35 and older in minutes, and ranks really high among all domestic players.
Just incredible endurance. Says so much about his conditioning and how vital he is.
And we should probably touch on his career overall, just briefly. I mean, 8 CBA titles with Guangdong.
8.
Multiple All-Star games, Defensive Player of the Year awards, tons of national team experience captain, Asian Games gold, Asian Championship gold.
A legendary career already, which makes it even more notable that he missed the playoffs for the first time ever just this past March. Shows even the greats face new hurdles.
Absolutely. And don't forget, he still passed all those tough fitness tests at the start of the season, even with the coaching transition messing up his offseason.
Right. Just underlines that commitment, unwavering dedication, really.
So when you put it all together, Zhou Peng's continued success, it's this fascinating mix, isn't it? Commitment to incredibly high standards, adapting to the dual role, evolving as a leader, making smart physical adjustments.
Yeah, it's all in there. And for you, the listener, his story is just a really compelling look at the challenges and, the triumphs of being a pro athlete, dealing with time, new roles, constant expectations. He's somehow found this balance between that intense self-discipline he's famous for and the flexibility he needs now to keep performing.
It really makes you think. And it leaves us with this final thought, perhaps. Zhou Peng always comes back to basketball being a team sport.
He does.
So what does his story tell us more broadly about how individual brilliance, like his, needs to mesh with the group for collective success? Not just in sports, but, anywhere. Collaboration is key.
That's a great question. How individual excellence translates to team wins. Definitely something to chew on.